Hi, I'm Wendy, and this is Cammie. I'm sure you've seen some of her videos. I have the blessing of being Cammie's mom, and we thought that we would do a video about mother and daughter relationships. The one thing that I really like about our relationship is I feel like I've been open and non-judgmental enough to where you can kind of talk to me about everything. As you as a teenager, well, almost a 20-year-old now, but as a teenager, what do you feel like most important as far as teenagers with their parents to feel comfortable to talk about?
Well, what was the question again? What do you
Think
about talking with
yeah.
parents? Okay, I think it's really important to talk to parents because, or your mom or the same sex, whichever you feel comfortable with. If you're a guy, father, whatever. Anyways, I think it's really important to be able to talk to your mom and dad about anything pretty much because I have no secrets for her at all, literally. And I tell her some things she really doesn't want to hear a lot.
Too often.
Yeah.
But now there is a secret though. I mean, I have went out of my way from the time Cameron was like 12 on to make sure that she was comfortable coming and talking to me and knew that I wasn't going to be judgmental or she wasn't going to get in trouble for telling me something. A good example of something I was really proud of Cameron of one night. She was out with some friends and she ended up being in a place she really didn't need to be.
Didn't give details that don't matter.
Didn't feel comfortable, and there was drugs around and everything, and some pretty hard drugs, actually.
Yeah.
And she actually
Tell them about the man throwing it.
yeah. The police showed up, and a dealer threw drugs right at her feet.
And told me not to move.
Yeah, if the cop had looked down, he would have blamed Cameron for it.
But he didn't see it, thank God, because I don't want to be in jail.
She called us at like 2 o'clock in the morning to come pick her up. Needless to say, she was in no trouble because she was honest. Now, if your parents make you feel like you're going to get in trouble, we're not saying go and just tell your parents all this stuff, that's going to either, make your parents disappointed or get you in trouble. Hopefully your parents are open enough with you to where you do feel comfortable about talking to them. If they're not, there are ways that you can try to get your parents to open up. I mean, for instance, there's been a lot of times, me and Cameron have a great relationship now, but she's almost 20. But when Cameron was 13 and 14, I did not understand her to save my life. I had no clue as to what was going through that child's mind. And maybe as a teenager, something that Cameron said to me one time that really hit me and made me think is, Mom, you don't know how I feel, and you need to see it from the way that I see it. She said this in a respectful way, but it got me as a parent thinking, and to put myself into her shoes so then I was more able to understand some of the things she was going through. What's some advice that you would have of different ways to maybe approach your parents if they're not so easy to approach? Like dads.
If they're not easy to approach, I mean, every parent loves their kids regardless. And if they're not easy to approach, I mean, just give them a heart-to-heart, and they love you enough, they'll probably listen. And that's what I did with her.
Now, with your dad, though, it hasn't been so easy. So
well, my
dad
dad
connected with him. If you have
my dad, it hasn't been easy my whole life, but there's been times, I have connected with him. But I mean, my dad's kind of hard to get through, but he's a really good man, always been there for me and everything. But I've always been a mama's girl since about the time I was born, and was kind of worried her because I didn't want to go near him or anything. And we're not making this video to be lame and talk about your mommy because you love your mommy so much. Yeah.
We have had our knockdown drag.
Yeah.
No, there's been times I've been like, you pack your stuff, get out of the house, and there's been times
and I packed my stuff, and my daddy's
you,
like,
Mom.
no, you're not leaving. So they made me unpack my stuff and stay.
There's been times that Cameron said, I hate you, Mom. I don't want to see you again. And I'm sure she felt that way at that moment. So we have we do not have the perfect mother and daughter relationship. But the one thing that we do have now is we have communications. And it's really important, teens, you need to talk to your parents. Talk to your parents about sex. Talk to your parents about drugs. Talk to your parents about the peer pressure you're feeling at school. Or, don't be embarrassed to go to your parents and talk to them. Mm-hmm. And hopefully you have parents that will understand that. I mean, and if you have very Christian or religious parents and you don't feel like you can go to them, or you're scared of your parents, there's counselors at school There's your friends' parents. A lot of Cameron's friends have come to me and just talked to me.
Yeah, she's very. Anyone can open up to her.
You can always find another adult if you're really that uncomfortable or scared to talk to your parents that you can talk to, because a teen needs direction. I mean, with all the drugs, the sex, the bullying, the things that goes on and the pressures in a teen's life today, a teen needs some kind of direction from an adult. And if that can't be your parents, you can find another adult that you feel comfortable to talk to. But just reach out and talk to someone.
And it'll save you a lot of trouble being able to talk to your mom or dad, because, okay, my mom told you about that drugstore. If I hadn't have said something, I mean, I could have went to jail that night.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was a big deal. And if I hadn't have gone home the second I did, and I was even tempted to rock. And my friend, we're not friends anymore, because she just made me get in trouble way too much. And I was a completely different person around her and way too wild. And we all go through them stages, so don't say crap about me. But it will save you a lot of trouble just to be able to talk to your parents. And like I said, we're not being lame putting this up. We're trying to help, because we discovered as soon as we got a relationship and was able to talk real well, I mean, it saved me a lot of trouble, and it's pretty great.
And parents, if you're watching this, it's amazing, like, the things that I've learned from my child. You know, we as parents think we're just to teach the children, we're here to teach the children. Honestly, once I stopped and I, put myself aside and put my needs and wants aside and started looking at things through my daughter's perspective and started listening to her, my daughter has taught me so much. You have.
Aww.
She's taught me so much. I mean, our kids are our greatest blessing, and I know any parent feels that way, but I have learned definitely what unconditional love is. I have learned and just been so impressed at certain emotional and maturity things, advice that my daughters just came up and gave me. Without even realizing it, you can learn so much from your kids if you'll just open up and listen to them. So we hope this video's helped anybody out there. If not, we had fun making it, and we'll talk to you guys later. Good luck, and talk to somebody.
Yeah, because it'll save you a lot of trouble, and it's good to have a relationship, because she's like my best friend. Bye, y'all.